Hey guys, it's Charlene. I'm really excited for today's card. I'm going to be using the beautiful butterflies, stamps, and dies, as well as the beautiful word stamps and coordinating dies. The summer floral stamp, which is just gorgeous. We're going to do some coloring, and the stitched scallops A2 dies. So let's get started. I'm starting out here using an alcohol marker friendly ink. I'm just making sure I get my summer floral stamp nice and inky, and then I'm using a pressure tool to go over the whole stamp. That sometimes makes it a little bit easier when you're working with really big stamps like that. I did off camera go ahead and double stamp it, and I'm just using some really basic Copic markers here to color in everything. You can use any kind of alcohol ink marker. You can use colored pencils, you could watercolor, anything you wanted to do here. In fact, this background would look gorgeous just if you left it stamped in black and didn't color anything in. I didn't go crazy here. I used just a few colors. I used YR00 and YR02 on those yellowish peachy flowers. And then for the pink ones, I used RV02, RV04. And then for the centers, I used Y02 and Y08. So pretty basic. And then on the leaves, I used YG03 and YG06, which I absolutely love as a combination for leaves. But as you can see, I just didn't use that many colors. I didn't show you the entire coloring process just because it was pretty repetitive and I would have had you here for quite a long time, and I want to get to the exciting part, which is what I'm going to be doing with the gorgeous butterflies in this stamp set. So once I get everything done and have it all colored in, I'm going to use that Stitched Scallops A2 die, and it's the largest from the set, and I'm going to cut this piece out so that the flowers are my entire background for my card. So beautiful and summery. I absolutely love how this card turned out. So now you can see there I've got the beautiful butterflies, stamps, and dies, and I'm stamping with some sticky embossing ink onto some vellum. And this vellum is rated for heat embossing. So just a tip, if you're going to be doing any heat embossing on vellum, you do definitely want to make sure the vellum you are using is meant to be used for heat embossing. So I've stamped it on there, and I'm using some silver fine detail embossing powder, and I'm doing the wing details, and you're going to see why I'm starting out with just the wing details. But I'm coming in with the 3 smaller butterfly wings, and again, I've done one. I'm going to do my next one, stamping it down on there, and I'm not using any kind of anti-static powder tool. The vellum is so slick of a surface that really just a quick flick on the vellum makes it so that you don't have to get any excess embossing powder off of there. It comes right off. I love working with vellum. So you can see those shiny, beautiful butterfly wings. I'm coming in now with the 3rd set. There are 4 butterflies in this stamp set, so you have a lot of different options with this set. And I like that you can do different colored stamping on the base layer. I'm not using that base layer today, but you could do like different colored stamping on the base layer, and then for the wing details, which is what I have stamped here, you could do embossing powder, you could do a different color or a darker shade of the ink, all kinds of fun stuff that you could do with that. So now I'm using the coordinating dies, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut out all of the butterfly wings, so that way I can go back in with the little body of each butterfly that goes in between the wings and then stamp it on there. The reason I did it this way was because I thought it would make it easier than trying to line everything up. Now I know exactly where it needs to go and just press it down with the stamp, and then again I'm coming in and heat embossing with that silver embossing powder. This would be fun to do in a different color as well. You could do your wing detail in one color and then do the little body part in a different color. So many options when you have these kinds of stamp sets where there are different stamps for each part of the body of the butterfly. I just love it. It's so cool. So once I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and off camera, and I'm going to cut out 3 of those butterflies in white cardstock as well. You'll see that in a few minutes. And I've got the beautiful word die. I love the font on this. And also what is super nice about this word is that the little tittle, the dot for the I, is kind of attached to the T. So you don't have to worry about losing that little piece, which is really nice because if you're anything like me, those little pieces get lost into the oblivion of your craft room. So you don't have to worry about that with this. It's really nice. And then there's also a coordinating shadow die, which I have cut out in white cardstock. And I have layered 3 of those black word die cuts just to give the card a little bit more dimension. It makes it kind of look like a chipboard piece, which I really love. I like dimension. I think it adds a lot to your card, and it doesn't take that much time to just dot it with the liquid adhesive and layer them up. So once I've got that down on the shadow layer, I'm going to set it aside and let it dry for a minute. And in the meantime, I am going to stamp out the word moments using some black pigment ink. And I'm going to cut that out with a sentiment strip die that coordinates perfectly with all of the different word stamp sets that Photoplay Say It with Stamps has. It's awesome. So definitely look into that as well. Now there is a stamp that says beautiful, so you could stamp that and onto the shadow layer if you didn't want to use the word die. I just like that you have a lot of versatility with these sets. It makes it so nice. So now that my glue has dried on everything, I'm going to go ahead and adhere the word in shadow that say beautiful. I'm going to adhere that to my beautiful floral background just in kind of the bottom right hand corner, and then I can take that little moments word. So now it says beautiful moments as my sentiment, and you can see here now underneath those vellum butterflies, that's where I have the white cardstock die cuts. And the reason I did that is because we're going to do some dimensional wings for these butterflies. It's going to look awesome. So I've got some 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape. I'm adhering it to the backs of the vellum underneath the butterflies, and I'm adhering it just along the body piece of the butterfly. So that way you're not going to see it at all on the front of the card. And then I can just line it up with the white cardstock die cut and push it down. And so now my wings are going to be free to move. I'm going to fold them up a little bit, but I'm going to wait and do that once I am done fully assembling the card. So I've got some double-sided adhesive foam squares here from Thermoweb, and I'm going to pop all of my little butterflies up and put them all around on my card. I just love how this card is coming out. I was so happy with the finished product. And really, the only way you get this kind of versatility is when you have a stamp set like this that is a layering stamp set, because you get so many different options with how you choose to make your butterflies look. So once I get all of that foam adhesive down, I'm going to go ahead and remove the release paper, pop those guys all up on my card, and it doesn't take very long at all. I think the longest part of this process was probably the heat embossing and the coloring. But even the coloring didn't take that long because it was pretty simple in terms of the number of colors that I used. You also could do just a few of the flowers and color it that way. That would look really beautiful as well. So now that I have my whole card front put together, I'm just coming along and folding those butterfly wings very gently. I'm folding them up slightly so that they pop off the card a little bit. And you also could use like a different color of paper underneath the butterflies when you're doing this type of vellum technique. Lots of different options. So once I get those cute little butterflies how I like them, I'm going to go ahead and use some more double-sided foam adhesive, and this is also from Thermoweb. I love this big roll of it. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the release tape. Super easy to get off of these strips, which I love. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to my card base. This is just an A2 size card base, 4¼ by 5½ inches. And I am going to put a little bit of liquid adhesive down on my foam strips, just because I'm trying to make sure that in case I need some wiggle room, I don't have any issues. And if you don't push down on the foam, you can kind of lift it up a little bit. But because I had so much on there, I thought it would be safe to use that liquid adhesive, because I've been known to stumble and drop my top of my card before. I don't know about you guys. All right, guys, here's my finished card. I hope you enjoyed this video and found some useful tips and tricks. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, as well as that notification bell, so I can continue bringing you more crafty content in the future. Until next time, happy crafting.